What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Hopefully welcome back. It's early morning, and we're going to get into a little project here that I've been looking to get into. Shout out to viewer My Three Cats. They were like, hey man, turn your phone sideways. The vertical is just for the short stuff. While that might seem like common sense to everyone out there, I'm not a video guy, man. I'm just winging it, trying to make it happen, and I forget what exactly the deal was, why I was just videoing before with a phone just, in the upright position. I bought this gimbal, and it seemed like it didn't want to do it sideways. So I was like, all right, well, I'll just do it this way. So, so I'm going to start filming like this now, and it seems like that's going to make things a lot better for the viewers. Maybe it's a little inconvenient for folks watching on their phones because you gotta, turn it sideways to get full screen. So that videoing format doesn't work out great for those folks. But enough yip yapping about these video formats. We're gonna start working on this mower. Now, I bought this mower brand new when I purchased my first house back in 2005. I was a little apprehensive to spend this much money on a mower. This one's got all the features. I guess, I don't know what they call it. It's like a hydrostatic thing where you have an infinite range of self-propelled speeds and electric start and all that. So, this is a great mower. And I'm really big on, if there's something that you're going to use a lot and you don't want to be dealing with a whole bunch of problems, buy the best thing that's out there. And I don't mean the most expensive thing that's out there, but get the best thing that you can afford. And this is a great example of that. This is a 20, maybe 21 year old push mower that I've been using. It's been sitting since fall of, 2021. So this thing has not been started since fall of 2021. I looked up in my Amazon history, this battery I'm hooking up, this is a replacement battery I bought off of Amazon in 2019. And I put a full charge into it, and let's see if this battery is still any good. And if it was a car battery, I think you guys know what the case might be with that. Now, in regards to, will it start? When I shut this thing off the last time, I knew I was going to probably be moving and all of that, so I did run it out of fuel, and I don't think that I drained the float bowl, if you know what I'm saying, but I know I at least ran it out of fuel before I put it up. It still has oil in it. The oil looks pretty clean. It's slightly low. But, I'm really interested to see if this thing's going to fire up, and not to pump Honda up too much. But Honda is king, when it comes to small engines and, I guess power sports in general. But it's pretty across the board with power sports. When it comes to small engines, if you're buying Honda, you're purchasing that with some expectations and the price tag that goes along with it. So I do expect this thing to start up. Now, if it doesn't start up and we've got carburetor issues, I'm not going to be surprised. You can get a carburetor off of Amazon or whatever. I got some kind of crazy deal on a tune-up kit on this once before, where it was like an air filter, a spark plug, and I don't know, maybe blades or something like that for a crazy cheap price. And that worked out fine. Some of these, Amazon or eBay carbs, are hit and miss. But I'm just going to put a little fuel in this thing, just in case, it doesn't want to start up. And let's see what it does. Well, you saw me pointing to the Honda logo on the bag, and it is what it is. I actually was a master mechanic at Honda Automotive Division for about 14 years. I basically retired from auto repair and started a business doing paintless dent repair. That's what I still do now. But yeah, man, I guess Honda Automotive isn't what it used to be back in the day. But man, I'll tell you what. You want to talk about a beast? I guess it was like the 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 old Accords from like a I think it was like a 90, the 90 to like 97 Accords. Total tank. Like, those things were a beast. The only thing that you would really see go wrong with those is like the oil seal would blow out for the balance shaft, and they had like an updated seal and little bracket that would keep that thing from popping out. But when it did pop out, it would basically just puke the oil out like it was coming out of the pump. But those older cars, man, like, they had a lot of maintenance. Like, it was like valve adjustments every 15,000 miles, and a lot of maintenance. But man, they just lasted. So if you did the maintenance, a car like that would have lasted forever. But the newer stuff, it just is what it is. We'll leave it at that. But anyhow, so we're doing an oil change on this. This is one of these little vacuum pumps that you would use on a boat or a jet ski or whatever, and I use this whenever I do oil changes on the generator. I think it gets everything out if you put a little extra effort in, and it's not quite as messy as doing just the regular drain and fills. Now, I would not do this on a car, but I will do it on the power sports stuff. So that's what we're doing there. All right, the slurping at the end's coming. Here we go. Now, once I start hearing that slurping at the end, I will rotate the hose. It's kind of cut on a 45-degree angle. I'll rotate it and kind of push it in and out to see if there's a spot where I can get some residual. And I'm pretty good with doing oil changes. I think it's very important, and it's a cheap way to make things last. I say fluids are cheap, parts are expensive. So we're always using a fully synthetic oil. I buy this high mileage stuff. I'm not looking into that too much. I don't know, if what the deal is there, if there's some additives or what have you, but it's a 21-year-old mower, so yeah, it's high mileage, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, so this is great. Got this thing rolled out. You could see I was storing it under that trailer. Not exactly an ideal situation, but it keeps it out of the rain, and we're a little short on storage at the moment, so there she be. But yeah, so she started right up. That battery that I got off of Amazon in 2019 is still hanging tough. What a trooper. So we're just going to top this thing off, and I'm trying to get this thing to where I think it's full. It's really hard to see on the stick. It would be nice if the stick wasn't gray, if it was black, so you could just look at the line on there. It's difficult to see when it's gray. But we're going to top her off now, and let's test this thing out. There's a patch of grass. You can see there's a bunch of grass growing up, and some of it inconveniently in the gravel. But I haven't put any seed down. This is just all nature doing its thing. Nature is king. If you give it a minute, it's going to take right back over. It doesn't really matter what you do, generally speaking. But yeah, like I said, struggling to see that oil level. And let's see if this thing will cut some grass. I got this thing raised up all the way because there are, some pretty big rocks out here. I kind of poked around the other day to see if there were any that would be, too big that it wouldn't, go over without hitting the blades. So yeah, let's check her out. forget who used to say this. I feel like it was Rob Dyrdek or something. Moment of truth, moment of truth, moment of truth, part 2. Let's see if this thing cuts some grass. And who knows, maybe I'll hit a giant rock and it'll blast through my harbor house. For all the dads and peepaws out there, yes, I did put a pair of work boots on, not mowing in the Crocs. Now you may notice me jockeying that I'm going to call it the hydrostatic speed with my left hand, and you'll notice where I'm able to go from a pretty decent clip to very slow. And I'll tell you what, man, that's where spending the money really comes in after you've had something for a while. The little things will make or break you mentally and emotionally, and it's really nice to pick the exact precise speed that you want to go over a tall spot or a thin spot where you can go a little faster, and it is really, really nice to put it exactly where you want it to be instead of number 1, number 2, number 3. And every speed is not exactly what you want to be doing. That's frustrating for me. I guess I'm just a picky person or expect too much or whatever. But yeah, if you're thinking about getting a push mower and you can get that hydrostatic option to where you can set the speed for anywhere you want, like a dimmer switch, go for that, man. I'm telling you, it's totally worth it. And another thing, this is a mulching mower. Like in 2005, that wasn't like a common thing. It's very common now. But I am bagging all of this. I'm on basically a hill, a mountain, whatever you want to call it, out in East Tennessee. And even in the deep woods and fairly flat areas, there really isn't any topsoil. All of these leaves decay, and there's like this, I'm going to call it a canopy on the floor of the woods, where it's just some decayed leaves and a lot of roots and different plants, and you could cut a section of that up, and it's very like rooty, like fine roots that hold it all together. But underneath of that, there really isn't much of a layer of topsoil. Now I'm sure there's some spots where it will wash down and build up in, mainly on the flat areas that are not on the hills here. But I'm bagging now, and I'm gonna save these grass clippings to try and create some decent topsoil for a garden, or I might even just spread this out over some of the other dirt to kind of get some pre-seed, if you know what I'm saying. So I think that's a good idea. I don't necessarily want to push mow everything that I have exposed as far as land that I've cleared, but if that's what I got to do to reclaim a bunch of grass clippings and leaves, that's another thing in the fall. Because it's a mulching mower, I can mulch the leaves and try and get some good soil going for the garden. I've done potatoes and onions before, and they like a really loose soil, so having those mulched leaves would be really great for that. Well, I appreciate y'all watching. I figured I'd bust this little video out, something I've been thinking of. I've got the day off today because customer, I guess, canceled. They made an appointment like a month ago, and I'm happy to do some excavation. You know, I finally got a window in time that aligns up with the rain that we've been having and everything, so I'm really looking forward to hopping on the loader. But I just wanted to pop this one out, and I appreciate y'all watching, and I hope this might help you get your mower going.